Shalom, Ahab, Wa, Baraka. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Waharakakodash, and double honors to the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers over at GMS that have been bringing out this 100% truth for the last 30 plus years. Let's get into it. So, today, we're going to talk about the MOTB, that, the same one that Nate said a long time ago. Well, it turns out there is, and they're trying to shadow ban me right now. So hopefully, they don't get kicked off YouTube. They tried to kick me off last time I brought an MOTB class out. In fact, it wasn't just Google; it was the science community had an objection to what I said, because I can't even show you guys the video. I can't even show you the video because I'll get kicked off of YouTube. But there is a video. I can't even really tell you anything. I can tell you what's in the video, but I can't show you the video at all. Or the science community literally had me kicked off of YouTube. I had to take a class and everything. And so I'm going to show you why they would want me to not bring this out. See, now there is a such thing as an RIDF chip. It's real. It's not some conspiracy theory. But the depth of what it goes into. Remember, this is fair use. You want to call it entertainment, educational purposes, spreading news, whatever you want to call it. The video I brought out proved that this is just the beginning of what it really does. See, our cellular structure is made in such a way because, our bodies hold energy. And we're pretty much like a walking battery. And that's a whole nother thing. But our bodies, our cell structure is so perfect that it could take almost all of the information of the supercomputers that need all of our fresh water to keep running, to keep from overheating. Yeah, those giant supercomputers. Our cellular structure, one of our cells, can hold almost as much information as a supercomputer. So imagine what our whole body can do. And I don't believe that they've completely accomplished it yet. Maybe they have, because they're bringing it out in the military. Maybe they've already accomplished this. But they want to use our body as the supercomputer on top of everything else. So when I proved what they were doing and showed the video and the science, this is on YouTube. The scientist tells you everything. All I did was play the video and then read some scriptures. And once I started reading scriptures, the whole science community tried to kick me off of YouTube. So let's just go ahead and let's see. Let's get some scriptures. It's first things first. That's the only reason I'm on here today. Now, I said what I have to say about everything. Let's get the scriptures out now. And, where am I? Sorry. Salakia. Because where I had everything. Oh, there it is. Let's go to, where do we want to start here? Let's go to Daniel. I think 11 and 36. So let's go to Daniel. Chapter 11. And I think which one is in 36. Let's check it. And it reads, "And the king shall do according to his will, and shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, Yahweh, uppercase, of gods, lowercase, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished for that is determined shall be done. So we have a wicked ruler. Every 4 to 8 years we get a new one. Trump's just a puppet right now that's in charge. We all know that this place is run by a shadow government. And that shadow government really wants to push the prophecies just as much as the Most High is putting it in His Spirit to do so. So these prophecies are coming true. I mean, you can see it for yourself. You know it's here. Anybody that's trying to deny what the Scriptures say is in denial. But this is really important. I'm going to read one part of this again. He shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished. This is what has to be accomplished along with a few other prophecies for Yahushua to come and protect us, to come and save us, come and bring salvation unto the children of Israel. Let's stay in the book of Daniel and jump over to chapter 7. So we're getting somewhere here. So we know that he's going to do certain things until his indignation be accomplished. So let's go over to stay in Daniel. Let's go to chapter 7. And I think the point is in verse 25. He shall speak great words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Now this is really important. This part of this verse is so important to us because we are the saints of the Most High. If we are literally prophesying or preaching, I should say, the end time prophecies. So if you're doing that in joyfulness and gladness of heart, you're one of the saints that are getting worn out. And how do they wear us out? By gaslighting everything we say. I could have swore Nathaniel said, ain't no microchip. I could probably find that right now. But, I mean, do we really need to hear it again? It's June. Ain't no microchip. Remember, everybody? He said that. His whole congregation should have left by now. But this is how they wear out the saints. Now, Nathaniel's not one of the saints. This is what you got to understand. I know that, well, he's an Israelite. He's the biggest camp leader. Of course he's the biggest camp leader. He's funded by the CIA. I mean, if I'm lying, then I mean, he's probably funded by somebody else. They got $150 million in the bank. Give me a break. Give me a break. But anyway, the government's doing the same thing. As a whole, as an entire nation, they're deporting Israelites left and right. On top of deporting Israelites, they're going into, so there's the southern kingdoms being deported, and the northern kingdoms being over-policed. So these things are happening. These are all the atrocities, and they're building up to this. See, what you guys don't understand about the deporting and over-policing, there's going to be a point where they're going to be like, we need to be able to identify you right now, because they're going to get tired of people going on YouTube saying, I don't have to give you identification. That's my right. What's my articulable, reasonable suspicion? Your ARS. So they're going to get tired of that, and they're just going to want to walk up to you and scan your ass and say, oh, nope, that's not the guy, keep it moving. That's one of the reasons. So they can just come up and just know who you are instantly without having to ask. On top of that, there's a bunch of other things they're doing with it too. But identification to participate in this new society, it's going to be digital. They've been telling you, and you know that that's how you're going to be able to what? Buy, sell, and trade. So he shall speak great words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. The saints of the Most High are telling you, don't receive the MOTB. That's why they're wearing us out and gaslighting us, because we're teaching you guys something. And they think to change the times and laws, and shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of times, which comes out to 3.5 years, I think, something like that. So I'm pretty sure it's 3.5 years. But anyway, listen again. He thinks to change the times and the laws. So what's the law right now? Well, it's cash is king, right? Everything's cash. Now, I'm just focusing on one aspect of changing the times and the laws. They want now when we go into changing the laws, every single executive order was changing the laws to change the times. He wants to make America great again, right? But at the same time, they want you to be digitally subscribed to this new society. So right now, we're in the very beginning stages of it. The cool new thing to do, the new tech thing that everybody has to have. It started with cell phones, and then you could do text messaging on cell phones, and then you got the iPhone, where you not only can do text messages, but now you can go on the internet and you're scrolling all around. And now they come out, so it builds up. Now we're building up to a digital society where you have to also be digitally subscribed. So it's not going away. So he's thinking to change the times. How's he going to do it? By making you all digitally subscribed, thinking that he's going to make America great again. That's not going to happen. And they shall be given into his hands until a time and times and inviting of times. Like I said, that comes out to 3.5 years. But judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume, to destroy it unto the end. Now, I want to jump around a little bit, because what are they going to do to us? They're literally going to digitally subscribe us to the new society. So we really have to get that right now and dive into that really quick. So there's there it is. There's everything I want right there. Everything I want is right in front of me all of a sudden. I was using the wrong computer. So let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 13, and we're going to start 14. So Revelation 13 and 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying unto them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by the sword and did live. So this right here is actually the image to the beast. What you guys don't understand is that the beast that had the wound by the sword is when the Roman Empire was almost completely demolished, but they were wounded. And then you have the Byzantine Empire, the Dark Ages, and then what do you have? The Renaissance. What does Renaissance mean? Rebirth. The rebirth of what? The Roman Empire. So that is the beast. And this is how you make an image to the beast, by being digitally subscribed to the beast system. That's the nature of the beast. You've heard people say it. Well, now it's real. So they had power to do so in the sight of the beast, saying unto them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. So now that you know that beast isn't some giant dragon flying around the sky, it's actually the Roman Empire. Okay, it should make it a little easier to understand, because during the Roman Empire, they did the same thing. They would brand you on your arm so you could show your allegiance to the Romans, so that they knew that you were part of their society. So when these guys walk up to you and they're able to scan you without you being able to say, what's your ARS, your articulable reasonable suspicion. You're not going to be able to do that anymore. So they're going to be able to say, yep, he's one of us. Instantly. Other guy, arrest this guy. He's not. He doesn't have the MOTB. It's going to be just like that. And let me prove it. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So they're going to what? How does the image speak? Through their policies. In fact, watch this. We don't fight against men, we fight against principalities. And that is Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. So let me get it in the New Living Translation. New Living Translation. For this is Ephesians 6 and 12. For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in heavenly places. So, like I said, we're not fighting. We're not fighting against people. We're fighting against a system right now. Let me go back over to Revelation. So let me give it to you. So it said, as many that would not worship the beast should be killed. So what's the worship of the beast? By following their rules, by conforming to what they want you to do. I hope you guys can understand this. So let's keep reading. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, because you'll have to be digitally subscribed to be able to use the supermarket, save he that has the mark. Well, that guy will be able to buy and sell, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And that honestly starts to, they're all subscribed to the same system. The mark, the number, and the name are all going to be that same system. Okay? So let's go ahead and jump around a little bit more. Let's go to Revelation. Let's stay in Revelation. So we know now that unless you have this, you're really in this new society. It's going to be impossible to do anything without it. And that includes paying your bills and getting gas for your car, feeding your children, all of it. So, staying in the book of Revelation, going to chapter 20, and going to the point which is in verse 4, I think. Let me see. And verse 4 reads, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast. So, and neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years. And that's a beautiful thing right there, that 1,000 years, because that just shows that we're going to have a time of peace where all of these wicked 2/3 and other people aren't going to be dealing with us. And we're not going to be dealing with them. So, and I could be wrong about that, but it just, well, that's my own vain imagination when it comes to that reigning for 1,000 years. So, anyways, because I want to go back into it though. So it's the ones who, so who are these people that are going to be with Yahushua, that 1/3 and that 144,000 within the 1/3? It said they shall, they lived and reigned with Christ. So let's go back over to Revelation 11. And now remember what I just said. These are the people that didn't conform to this lifestyle, physically, spiritually, or just out of necessity, because I gotta survive. No, they didn't do any of that, so they lived. So let me show you how they live, because this is important. And Revelation 11 and 12, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither, and they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So you guys that receive this are instantly an antichrist and an enemy of the kingdom. Believe it or not, you're going to get doomed. You're doomed. You are doomed. So let's keep going. Let's jump around some more because we want to get to some consequences. So now we know that we're up in the cloud, but we need consequences. That's what we really need for the wicked two-thirds, and the other nations are going to be doomed anyway. But really, I'm just going to focus on you wicked two-thirds because there's enough of you to, just make a... Anyway, there's a lot of wicked two-thirds. You other nations, just listen along because this is also your future too. This is your future prophecy also. So, I'm going to go to chapter 16 on Revelation, and we're going to just start from the top. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out the veils of the wrath of Yahweh upon the earth. We're already safe. And I can even prove that even the third woe ain't coming until after we're out of here, so you guys can get doomed and we're going home. So he's going to pour out wrath of Yahweh upon the earth. Verse 2. And the first went out and poured out his veil upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast. Which had the mark of the beast. And upon them which worshipped his image. Those are the people that are conforming to this new society. You guys better watch out. These are warnings coming out to you daily. Every 15 minutes, someone's bringing out a class about the MOTB. If you haven't heard the warning yet, you're lying. You're lying, especially if you have one of these. You're tech savvy. If you're thinking about the MOTB, you're tech savvy. You know what's going on. So a grievous sore fell. Let me start back. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped the image. So there you have it. There's already you're going to get doomed. I should have brought this out first. So let me go back a little bit to chapter 14. Revelation chapter 14, starting at verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation. So I have a whole bar right here. If you've seen my classes, you know I've got a bar. And I'll tell you what, I don't really drink the hard liquor on the wall at all. But if I were to pour out a shot with no mixture, it's going to be a lot stronger than if I put some ice or some juice or a little 7-Up or something in with it. So he's telling you that you're going to drink the full power of his anger. Okay? There's not going to be anything to dilute how angry he is, and you're going to feel it. And you shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And I can show you that. I can show you that because all I have to do is go back to Revelation chapter 11 and read verse 13 and verse 14, which tells you the third woe cometh quickly in verse 14, and it tells you about the destruction in verse 13. Just read it for yourself. Read it for yourself. So now we know that the same people that receive this this mark will drink the wine of the wrath of Yahweh's indignation, and it's going to be poured in. Let me read it correctly. You guys that receive this mark are going to drink the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. That doesn't sound good no matter how you read it. And like I said, there's no mixture. It's going to be the strongest beat down you've ever had. It's going to be the most powerful beatdown you've ever been given. And it's all due to the fact that you guys refuse to follow the rules. So, and let's keep going. Let's jump over to Revelation. Let's stay in Revelation, might as well. Let's go to chapter 19. And we're going to close this down. I just wanted to hit this really quick because I've been working for 6 years straight without a vacation or a day off. And then one day they came in and told me they don't give a shit about me or anything that I've done because I trained the whole I've trained part of the company. And so now they don't need me anymore. They fired me this week, so it's been great. It's been like the greatest, most relaxing, comfortable week I've had in 6 years. I could finally, my mind's finally clear, or I can bring out scriptures again. They were like tearing me away from everything. So the Most High finally had to come in and take control of the situation. So the way I feel is that everything happens for a reason, and when they got rid of me, you can go to Job 33, starting at verse 14, read it for yourself. The Most High put the instruction on those guys to fire me the night before, which is a good thing. There's always, you got to remember, for that the Most High never gives you more than you can handle, and He always gives you a way out. But going back into this MOTB, now that I'm finally able to bring out a class and relax and I got work, I own a business. That's why they fired me, because I own my own business and it started to take off. And I instead of going to work, I went and did my own business for a week. and they got mad about that. But while I was working for them, of course, I was falling behind on every bill. It was about almost 2 months behind on my mortgage, and everything was falling apart. So I had to take matters into I had to use the options that Yahweh gave me. He gave me the option to go and work for myself and get everything caught up, so I did that. And then when I showed up on Monday, they're like, "You're fired." And I was like, "That's fine by me, because, I mean, we still have to work contracted. We, in our own little businesses. We're not hurting, but I can relax and bring out classes." So, Salakia for that rant, but that's what's been going on with me for the last couple months, and they finally fired me on Monday after really just mental abuse for a while. So, what a relief. What a relief. And going back into it, though, this MOTB, we're going to stay where we were at. We were in the book of Revelation. I just showed you in 16 and 2 that you would get the grievous sore from that. And oh man, you don't get it. Like when we can go back to 16 again just really quick for a second. I want to revisit that because that sore is real. There's been a lot of people that have been and they do a media blackout on it, of course. So it says, "And the first went out and poured out his veil." This is Revelation 16 and 2. Talking a little fast now because I'm getting excited because I remembered, so I need to go back to this verse. So the first went out and poured out his veil upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. So noisome and grievous sore. So I want to go into that grievous sore because they were talking about how people, this is a media blackout, so gotta watch out again. A lot of people are getting pus buildups and the body's trying to reject it, and it can't, and it's cancerous. So it's really starting to become like, when you get these, they haven't figured out a way to keep them from infecting the inside of your body. And plus, you got to remember, you're putting like a little cancer cell in your body and then letting it pulsate through you. There's another one of a woman from about one of the very first MOTBs ever, first microchips, and they refused to remove it from her. They said they can't, but like about every 5 or 10 seconds, she gets a pulse through her body, like where every nerve is at a level 10 in pain. Every nerve in her body. Can you imagine that your whole body every 10 seconds? So it's like electrocuting her for the rest of her life because it probably had a glitch and it was probably defective. So there's that grievous sore upon men which had the mark of the beast. Okay, so and you know, it goes deeper than that too. I just had to brush the surface on that because they've already did a media blackout of people having like the pus build up around it, the body trying to reject it, and it being cancerous, and that woman going straight to the Congress trying to get this thing removed, and they refused to do so. So now let's go back over to Revelation. Staying in Revelation, like I said, we'll go to 19, and I think the point is in verse 20. And this is beautiful. I'm going to start at verse 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat upon the horse and against his army. That is Yahushua and the Shabbaot. The Shabbaot means Yahweh's army. Yahushua is coming back with his father's army, and everything's getting destroyed. So let me go ahead and read it. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, which had deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire and burning with brimstone. I want to get a precept on that real quick. I hope you guys don't mind. I don't care, but I'm bringing it out anyway. So we know that the false prophet that brought all the miracles, guess what, all you false prophets? And that goes into like every single Christian and every single Muslim. You can't, and he's going to tell you, I did not know you, depart from me, you workers of iniquity. Neither one of you guys keep any of the high holy days according to the Levitical law, because the laws are done away with, which isn't even in the Bible. It's not in the Bible. It says that not one jot or one tittle shall ever pass before the law. In other words, the law is never going to be done away with. You guys just don't understand what a grace period is, so you just literally think that they just really think that they're going to be able to get into the kingdom with lawlessness. And just go, what are you going to go in there acting all like the fools you are? And you think the Most High is going to accept that? I'm sorry, it's just funny to me. So let me read it again. So I saw the beast and the kings of the earth, their armies, gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Yahushua and Shabbaot. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast into the lake of fire. The lake of fire burning with brimstone. So let's see what that lake of fire really is. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 66. This is like a go-to. And then we'll get some precepts too with Isaiah. Isaiah 66, I'll start at verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind. There is your brimstone and your fire, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. What about the sword? Verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many. So you guys are all pretty much doomed. And there was another one too. While you're feeling this fire, let me show you how it goes into nuclear warfare. Your eyes will melt in their holes. Your eyes and your tongue will melt in their holes. Zechariah 14 and 12. Let's go to King James Version. And it shall be a plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Remember, they put their armies together to fight against us. And their flesh shall consume away while they stand on their feet. Wow, and by fire he shall plead with all flesh. How did your flesh consume away while you're standing on your feet? According to a nuclear blast, you would be literally before the blast even hit you. You would you would get before the fire and flames, like the way I don't even know how to explain it because I'm not really a rocket scientist, but when you see it on TV, the people are burned by fire before the flames even hit. They're just radiated instantly, and their eyes and their tongues will melt right in their holes. And so you watch the movie Terminator when the one girl's standing at the fence and everybody gets burnt to a crisp and turns into a skeleton. So let me start over again. Zechariah 14:12. And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite the people who have fought against Jerusalem, trying to make us digitally subscribe to their society. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand on their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongues shall consume away in their mouths. That is nuclear warfare, bro. You can't get away from that. You can't get away from that at all. You know what I'm saying? So let's go back into it. I just had to share that with you guys. I think I have one more. We're gonna go ahead and close out. Let me just. I need to proof it first. Yeah. This is beautiful. I'm going to start at, this is Daniel chapter 12. I'm going to start at verse 9. Okay? Everybody listen carefully. And he said, Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. That's why we understand, though, I can jump around and navigate Revelation like no tomorrow, because we are in the time of the end. The seal has been broken, which is being spoke of right here in the book of Daniel. Why do you think the prophets are back on the streets again? Because we've been unleashed. He sent the prophets back out to wake up the people. That means that the grace period is almost over, and now it's time to gather and harvest, to harvest the fruit. So let me read verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly. And none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. So the wicked people aren't going to understand that this is really going to take you out of the kingdom. Because I just navigated Revelation to prove it to you, when the book of Daniel is telling you that we wouldn't even be able to go into the book of Revelation until the end of times. This book is sealed until the end of time. And where are we at? We're at the end of this time era. Time of the end. This book is sealed till the time of the end. So we're at the end of Esau's rulership and at the beginning of Jacob. And the children of Israel, listen carefully, you 1/3, you 144,000 within the 1/3. Many shall be purified. In other words, your sins, all of your wickedness will be taken away. I will show you that in a second. And made white. For all you stupid fucking Edomites, that doesn't mean that your skin's going to change colors. It means the word white in this context means righteous, stupid. You guys are stupid. You're not made white. You're black. You Mormons are so stupid. You literally think that the Most High turned our skin color dark and made us protected from the sun as a curse, but made you guys white, unprotected from the sun. You can't even go outside without catching a skin cancer. You can't go outside without putting on a sunblock. And if the Son hates you, what does that say about the Father? Just saying. So many shall be purified. In other words, their sins shall be removed. Like I said, I'll show you that in a second. And made white, made righteous. And I'll show you how that works. And tried. Now, what do you mean by tried? Well, let me get that too. What do you mean by tried? We're going to get all three of those things right now. So we're going to start with tried. So what does tried mean? So first we're going to go to the 1611. We're going to have to go all the way into the book of Ecclesiasticus, which is also known as the book of Sirach. And then we're going to go to chapter 2. And we're going to go directly to verse 5 because it says, what does it mean? I might as well read 1 through 5 so you can understand what it means to be tried. So, my son, if thou comest to serve Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation. You're going to be tempted to do things that are wrong. Set thy heart aright, constantly endure, make not haste in time of trouble. To set your heart aright means to come back to the laws, Christian dummies. Constantly endure that temptation of people wanting to pull you out of the truth and bring you back to the world. And make not haste in time of trouble. And when things really do, when shit hits the fan, it means to step back. Make not haste. Don't be quick to take matters into your own hands when things are going wrong. This is all what it means to be tried. Cleave unto him and depart not away. That means come back to the laws to cleave unto him. What does he say? Cleave unto him and depart not away, and it shall be given unto you. Isn't that the book of James? Depart not away, and it shall be given unto you. So what does that mean? It means the scriptures, the following the laws, going back to everything that we possibly can, knowing that we can't keep all the laws, but we can apply what we learn to our life to the best of our ability, following the instructions that we know we can do. So cleave unto him, depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. So if we depart not away, I showed you in Revelation 11 and 12 that he's going to take us home, because there's going to be a lot of bad things that happen here, and it's only going to get worse until he comes and gets us, and then after he gets us, it's even going to get worse. So whatsoever is brought unto thee, take cheerfully, be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. In other words, to take something cheerfully doesn't mean to be happy that shit's happening to you. It means to be faithful unto the truth, knowing that the Most High said, I will never give you more than you can handle, and I'll always give you a way out. So that's taking things cheerfully. Be patient. In other words, knowing that the Most High is going to deal with it, just like I told you, make not haste in time of trouble in verse 2. Be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Now here's the point. We were wondering what the word tried meant. So this is verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So let's start with the acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. That is verse 1 through 4. Those are the acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. The things that happen to you, the temptations, being tried in the fire. So that would be the obstacles that are happening in your life. But when you take it to a goldsmith and say, I want this gold to be purified, I want it to be made pure. So what do I do to make something pure? I burn it. And how do I know when this gold has been purified correctly? As the goldsmith, I will look at the gold and see my reflection. So Yahweh, as the goldsmith, looking at us, the children of Israel, will see us reflecting his works, reflecting his true nature for us to follow the instructions correctly. So let's go back over to Slovakia. So let's go back over to Daniel, okay? 12, because we want to go right back to where we were at and get purified now. And I'm actually going to do it a little different. What we're going to do is we're going to read it again, but I'm going to get you the definition for purified, and I'm going to get you the definition for made white. So what we have to do is, let's go to Book of Daniel, chapter 12, KJV, Blue Letter Lexicon. And we'll look it up in this lexicon, but sometimes I notice that they do try to change the meaning of words in the lexicon to confuse and gaslight the real truth. And then the Christians will jump all over that and say, see, look. But really, no, they're absolutely wrong. So let's go back to verse 10. Let's go back to the word purified. And it's bara. So let's look it up. Let's listen to it in the Strong's. I'll play it so you guys can hear it, hopefully.
Strong's H 1305.
Barrera. It means to be chosen, polished, to purify, purge, cleanse, make bright, chosen, cleanse, polish. These are all words leading up to righteous. I'm trying to find it. To be purified would be to virtuous, honest. I'm looking for the correct one. This is what I don't like about Strong's. They really just kind of like don't want to it seems like it's almost like they hide certain definitions from you. So what we're going to do is go to the regular biblical dictionary. What is the biblical definition of purify? So this is what I was talking about. To be made clean or holy. What is holy? Holy and righteous are the same thing. To be set apart. Set apart from wickedness. To remove sin and to be set apart for Yahweh's use. Spiritual purification through faith, obedience to Yahweh's word, and the power of the Holy Spirit. The uniting goal of purification is a pure heart and a life devoted to Yahweh, free from defilement of sin. So to be set apart, you're being set apart from defilement of sin. I hope you guys understood that. Now let's go into being made white. Let's see what they're going to say about that one. It's really tough doing. So let's see. This is going to be tough, guys, because they might, sometimes they lie. Yeah, see what I'm saying? They're only they're only using the word to be made white like 100 times. I knew that they were going to do that though. The only one I can say that I believe is to purge one's self. Other than that, is to make bricks or to, according to this, to be white, which is not true. So, to purify, and that's see, this is what I'm talking about. They do this on purpose to push a narrative for these wicked Edomites. You wonder why we call you the devil. What's the biblical definition to be made white? Now, what did I tell you before? What did I tell you? I said it was to to be purified from sin and clothed in Yahweh's righteousness and purity. Has nothing to do with skin color, okay, guys? So when you go back to Daniel 12 and 10, many shall be made righteous, or many shall be purified and made righteous and tried. Now we know what that means. Where is it? Let me try it again with the definition. Let's see. Many shall be made holy and made righteous and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. And that goes into the righteous virgins and the foolish virgins. So the wicked are the foolish virgins at this time that refuse to do it. Because if you don't study, you don't know what to do. If you've never changed a tire on a car before, it might look easy, but once you get into it, you might realize you don't know how to do it or even have the tools to do it. So that's why you become the foolish virgin, because you're going to wait until it's too late, until Yahushua is here, and then you're going to try and fix a bunch of things that you don't have any of the skills or tools to do because you've never studied. So that's why they say the wicked shall not understand. You're not going to understand that you're not going to understand that this MOTB is really going to get you in the two. You're going to be locked in the 2/3 position that you can't get out of. You can't repent from this. He's telling you there is you're going to get the wine of his wrath that is poured out you're going to pour it out without mixture. You're going to receive the full indignation of his wrath. So with that being said, I think I've made my point here. Many shall be purified, made white, and tried. Those are the ones from Revelation 11 and 12 that are going to be taken up. But the wicked shall do wickedly. That is the rest of earth, including the 2/3. The only people that can actually repent is those 2/3. And none of the wicked shall understand, but the wicked shall do wickedly. So I'm going to close out with this, just to remind you guys, Revelation chapter 22 and verse 12. And this is Yahushua speaking. Every time I bring this out, I don't know if I ever told you that. And behold, I come quickly, my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. So, and then he goes so far as to say, I am the Alpha and Omega. I'm the beginning and the end, the first and the last. He's the first of all creation, and he'll be the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. So blessed are they that do his commandments. So if you find yourself in a position where you're receiving this, you are going to you're going to die. That's all there is to it. So the people that are without the commandments, without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. So, with that being said, if you got eyes to see and ears to hear, I hope you got something out of this message. Shalom.